Alright guys, here we are. Out another nice day. Out on the Z650. Trying to get some time in. Have to take advantage of this nice weather while I can. Any day it's not raining, day to go riding. Of course, I know rain doesn't stop many of you guys, but I'm a fair weather guy, so I like the non-rainy days. Yeah, spring break here, southwestern Washington. Got a week off with the kids, the family. We're heading out of town on all the nice days, and I think we're coming back when it's raining, so it's a little bit of a bummer for the bike riding, but it'll be nice to get away, go down the Oregon coast, enjoy that. So I probably should tell you guys a little story about when I got pulled over doing high speeds back in the day on the F4. So back then it was all about just going fast. That was what seemed fun at the time. But I was doing that everywhere and just whipping through these roads like nothing. And one day I was out doing that and riding on a nice afternoon and just kind of flying all over the place. And so I was acting pretty crazy. I was just couldn't go anything but fast and whipping through the back road, just having a great old time. And I thought, and I get to a point where I want to get on a 60-mile-per-hour, highway and head for home. And so I actually got up to 130 miles per hour on the F4 at one point, and I slowed way down, and I come around a corner and a long straight stretch, and way at the very end I can see this police car sitting down there, and he's got someone pulled over. As soon as I see him, I'm probably half a mile away or whatever, and as soon as I see him, I'm doing 60, the speed limit. And so no big deal. He's got someone pulled over, right? The police officer is standing out there by his car, and he basically flips the lights on and kind of waves me over, and I'm like, oh great, I'm busted, And so I pull off to the side of the road, and he's like, what I pulled you over for? And I'm like, don't really say much. He's like, I'm pulling you over for speeding. You know how fast you were going? And I'm thinking, oh God, what did he get me at? And he goes, we got you doing 110 miles per hour. And I'm thinking to myself, oh God, at least it wasn't 130, because I saw that on my speedometer. And so I'm thinking, how in the world did this guy get me? Well, I wasn't thinking, but a freaking plane got me. You could say a plane pulled me over. The plane radioed down to the police officer, and they pulled me over. So he walks me back to the back of the car and has me put my hands on the trunk and spreads my legs and pats me down and actually throws handcuffs on me and throws me in the back of the car. And then he's taking my information and whatnot, and he's kind of a younger police officer, and I don't know, if this is standard or what, but when he was questioning me, I was like, yeah, I just got the bike, I was kind of apologetic, like, yeah, I was kind of being stupid, and he's like, well, here's your ticket, I'm gonna let you go, go ahead and go home. So first I was surprised that I got let go so I could ride home. That was pretty amazing by itself. But what was really interesting, and I wish I had a copy of it to show you, but this is quite a long time ago, but the ticket, if you ever had a speeding ticket before, if you look to the very bottom right or whatever, somewhere on the bottom of the speeding ticket, typically they'll write in the amount that the ticket, how much you owe. This ticket says where the amount is. This ticket says mandatory court date. Yeah, there was no amount. It just said mandatory court date. I was like, oh crap. So now keep in mind, I just wrecked the bike, a few months earlier, and that cost me $2,500 on this wreck. So it's almost comical when I think back at it, because I went in, I was a single guy at the time. I walk into the dealership, I give them, I think it was like $7,000 cash for a F4 motorcycle, and I walk out and I've got my own, F4, and just having a great time with it. And then I wreck it. That cost me $2,500 to fix that. And then I get pulled over doing 110 in a 60. And I go to court. I had to get a lawyer. If you don't get a lawyer, you're gonna get shafted. So I get a lawyer, which frankly was kind of a joke, but again, you kind of have to do it. What he did, I don't know what the hell he did other than, show up, say a few things, and basically help me get it deferred is what he did. So, I mean, yeah, maybe it was worth it after all, but it seemed like it wasn't much because he charged me $2,500 lawyer fee. We were in court for 5-10 minutes. That's like all I saw this guy. I mean, I saw him in his office once, but for another 5 or 10 minutes. But I mean, I didn't spend 30 minutes with this guy, and granted, yeah, he helped me get the ticket deferred, but $2,500 lawyer fee, and then the ticket turned out to be the amount they end up charging me for the ticket. This was a reckless driving ticket, by the way. The ticket amount turned out to be $1,000 by the court, and so two $2,500 fees. One for wrecking, one for lawyer fee, and then another $1,000 for the ticket. So right there was $6,000. And this is all in one summer. I mean, and then part of the plea agreement basically was to sell the F4, put it up for sale. And so I don't know what I sold it for. I don't even remember now, but hell, I may have only sold it for $6,000. I mean, basically, it was just like I threw away all that money. I guess you could say I had fun for one summer, but it was too much fun, a little too costly. So I guess if anything, learn from that. If there's anything to learn from it, I would think the main thing to learn from it is don't be acting like a wild man and going crazy, speeding all around. It'll cost you if you get caught. So, and you can watch a million videos on YouTube where all these guys are, topping this Z650 out at 120 and any other motorcycle acting crazy on. And yeah, they're entertaining. I like watching them myself. What the heck, But all I know is I'm not going to be doing that sort of stuff again. So you could say I got pulled over by a plane. Quite interesting. It's where, if you don't know, if you're wondering how that happens, out there on the freeway or highway, whatever you want to call it, along the white line here, they'll have kind of a big mark along the freeway, and then they time you, so the marks are a mile apart. And so what happens is, as soon as you pass that first mark, they start the stopwatch, and then when you get to the second mark, they stop it so they can calculate your speed. And they calculated me doing 110 miles per hour. But, when I look back at that sort of stuff, maybe it was the best thing that could have happened, in all total honesty. I mean, it really probably was. I mean, I was just out of control. It seemed like it. I couldn't go slow. That wasn't fun. I mean, I'm enjoying out here just, going the speed limit a little bit over. I'm having a great time. But back then, I couldn't enjoy it. It was all about going fast all the time. So yeah, once you start getting addicted to that speed, it seems like you can't go slow, or you seem to have to go faster all the time. And matter of fact, I watched one video on YouTube there where the guy was kind of nervous for his buddy because he was kind of a similar situation where his buddy had a 600 and he was, going balls to the wall on that constantly, and then apparently it wasn't good enough, so he was trading up to 1,000 sport bike, super sport. So his buddy was saying he was pretty nervous about that, hoping he wasn't going to kill himself. But back in the day when I was single, yeah, you don't really sort of think about those sort of things. So like I said, I was addicted to the speed, and it was all about going fast, and that landed me into a lot of trouble. So acting crazy, acting like a wild man. I was really lucky to survive when I did. I don't think I'd survive it now in today's environment with the number of people on the roads and all that sort of stuff. So just trying to be safe and enjoy it at the same time. I know a lot of people buy motorcycles to get from point A to point B, but for me it's just going for a ride. I didn't buy it for a commuter. I didn't buy it, you know, for no other reason other than just to ride. And I get on and I let the bike take me where it wants to go. I come to an intersection, I can go left, right, straight. I don't know where I'm going. The bike tells me where we're going. I just get on and I'm along for the ride. I like the gear indicator. It's pretty sweet, but I'm kind of old school. You know, I'm shifting by just the feel of the bike. I'm not shifting by the RPMs or anything else that this says. It's just all about feel for me. If it feels like you need to shift, you shift. But that is a neat little feature, though. All right, I'm just trying to get out of town. I'm not sure where the bike's taking me here, but just trying to get out of town here. It's kind of funny when I look in the mirror, I see a car behind me, but all I see is a blurry car, so should that be a cop car, I honestly couldn't even tell. Maybe it's just this mirror, the way it's vibrating. It is vibrating when I touch it pretty good. Yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised people aren't too impressed with the sound of the engine. I think it's perfect for me. I'm one of the earlier neighbors that get up and go to work, have an earlier shift, so kind of like the idea of it being a little bit quieter when I put out of the neighborhoods, maybe this summer in the mornings. But when you get on it, it's got a nice little growl. I think I've mentioned that more than once. But let me tell you guys, this motovlogging, I'm kind of enjoying it, but it's harder than it looks. I mean, there's a lot of, for me at least, there's a lot of pauses of silence thinking, okay, what am I going to say next year? What do we want to talk about? So, but the editing, it's funny, a couple people have watched the videos and like, man, you sure do talk a lot. And it's like, well, you know, that's editing, you know. So, because people that know me are like, man, I've never heard you talk so much before. And it's like, yeah, it's the editing. You gotta do that every now and then, doesn't hurt nothing. They said break it in. They told me, you know, said don't run to that red line, but you know, give it a little throttle now and then. So I'm just doing what the dealership said, you know, trying to break this thing in right. Well guys, I'm almost home now, so thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Is there anything you want to see, any requests, leave them in the comments. Try to get to them, try to answer any questions that you may have. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Later.